I'm doing a part 1 of my reading wrap-up because of a couple of reasons. 1, I've read a lot this month, and 2, there's some stuff that needs to go back to the library, and I've already returned some things, so I won't have, copies to show you of everything, but I'm going to try. So, yes, I'm just going to jump into it because, like I said, I've already read a ton this month. I've been trying really hard to read more books that aren't just, physical books. So I've read some audiobooks, some ebooks, and I've been reading a lot of graphic novels, too. Thank you. Okay, so the first thing I read this month was The Roses of May by Dot Hutchison, which is book number 2 in the Collector Trilogy. The first book was The Butterfly Garden. I did a book talk on this book. I love the series. It's amazing. It's a 5-star series, probably more like a 6-star series for me. It's up there with my favorite book series.
What is your favorite book series?
Elaine Ferguson series. I don't know if the series has a title, but the first book is Christopher Killer. My wrap-ups have spoilers, so beware. So this one comes about a year, not quite a year, maybe 6 months after the first book, and I was worried I wouldn't like it because it doesn't follow the same story. It just follows the FBI agents and another case. But this one was amazing, and I really liked. They carried a couple of the girls from the Butterfly Garden. They carried them over through this. You get even more attached to the agents in this one. This is only a trilogy, and I'm really sad because it's amazing, and I would love more of them. But this book is about a serial killer who leaves different flowers, and he's going after this girl named Priya, and he killed her sister a few years prior, and now he's going after her. And then she ends up being friends with Inara, who's one of the Butterfly Garden girls, and it's just really good. Read the first book first, but I highly recommend this, and I'll put that link to the book talk I did up in the cards. Yeah, these books are awesome. The third one comes out next month. Okay, let's see. The next thing I read, I finished reading on Hoopla, Bad Feminist by Roxane Gay. Is this showing up?
Not really. Here, let me see if I can get it to you. Hold it still.
Hoopla is the digital media library checkout thing. I started this as a paper book, and I was having I guess I should keep holding it up.
You don't have to.
I was having such a hard time slogging through it. I started listening to the audiobook, and that was ages ago, and I just haven't picked it up because I don't really listen to audiobooks much. But I finished it off on our trip down to Arkansas for spring break. And that's another new thing as I started giving star ratings. I'm trying to try new things. It's okay. I liked it a little bit better towards the end, but it was just really dry and dull. It wasn't bad, it's just not for me. And yeah, I didn't really like it. It wasn't what I thought it would be when I picked it up. It's a bunch of essays about...
Well, how many stars would you give it?
2.
Okay.
Because I didn't absolutely hate it. I picked up towards the end, but it still wasn't that great. Yeah, now I'm just showing you a blank phone screen.
It just turned off right before you turned it around.
I wonder if I can... No, I can't. Okay. Yeah, I didn't really like it. I don't even know really how to tell you what it was. And honestly, I dozed off through parts of the audiobook, and then I put it on double speed, which I'd never done before, but I've heard people mention, and that helped a lot. I'm just glad it's over. I finished it. I'm glad it's over. I don't like DNFing books. Okay, let's see. Read a bunch of books with River. Okay, this one I already had to return to the library. It's In the Eye of the Storm, Swept to the Center by God by Gene Robinson. I picked this one up after I read one of his other books. This was really good. It just tells about his journey and his thoughts and stuff like that. It was really good. If it sounds interesting to you, I don't really know how to tell you what it's about. Look it up. If it sounds interesting to you, pick it up. I enjoyed it, but that's about all I have to say. I'm sorry. You know I'm not great at reviews. Okay, some more stuff of Rivers. Then I read, see if I can get my Kindle to cooperate. The Christmas Surprise by Samantha March. Come on. Ugh. Do you guys have Kindles? Does any of your Kindles do this where these stupid ads pop up and they won't let you go to what you're trying to do? Don't want to go to the App Store. I want to bring a book.
Technical difficulties.
Yes. I don't want to download it. Anyway, I guess I have a different cover of a book I haven't read yet. It's the book I don't normally use my Kindle much. And I'm trying to make it work for this, but it's not working. So, okay. I read The Christmas Surprise by Samantha March on my Kindle. So, I'm just going to hold up this annoying piece of tech asleep because it's driving me nuts. Anyway, I read that. It's a short story, little novella thing. Samantha March is a YouTuber I follow, and she does makeup videos, but she, I don't remember how I found out, but somehow I found out that she writes. So I read this little novella, and it was really good. It was, let's see, it's about this lady who lives in kind of a rich neighborhood, and she overhears some gossip and thinks her husband's cheating on her, and it's compounded when she finds a credit card bill with all this expensive stuff and ends up just being her Christmas present and all of that. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I
apologize to your audience members. Oh, I gotta get off my knees. Oh.
I remember noticing a couple typos, but nothing so major that it really annoyed me or that I can remember what it was. Not awake, obviously.
Book hangover.
The ending, yeah, I've got a book hangover from the book I read last night. I'll get to that at the end. The ending of this one, I wish it had gone a little bit further. Like, it was good, she learned her lesson, all of that, blah, blah, blah. And I know it's a novella, but I wish it had like 1 or 2 more pages where she actually did sit down and talk with her husband instead of just saying, oh yeah, I'll do it. That kind of thing. So that's that. Then I read another ebook novella, and this annoying thing. In Morningstar's Shadow, in Morningstar's Shadow, which is, actually it's not one novella, it's, like 3 little short stories in a novella, whatever, by Aliette de Bodard, I think. I don't speak French. And it's in the Dominion of the Fallen series. This was good. I enjoyed it. These are well written. But this entire series, it's about, angels that fall, and there's magic, and it's France, and it's the early 20th century, and I comprehend what I'm reading, and I understand all the different elements, but it doesn't all mush together in a cohesive whole for me, where I just understand it as if I lived in the world, like happens with most fantasy series. And it's not even that it's like high fantasy. I don't know what kind of fantasy. I'm not good at differentiating those, but it's not like it's super high level or anything. It's just, and it's written well and all of that. I just, for some reason, can't mush it all together to make complete sense of what happened. Like, I understand the magic system, I understand the world, I understand the characters, but it's like, the best way I can think to describe it is like you go to live in another country and you understand the language and you understand the textbook of the culture, but you don't actually understand the culture. Does that make sense? I don't know. It's hard to explain. So I read that. It's a book 0.5 or whatever. So as with most of those things, read the first one first. If you've read those and you can make any more sense out of it than I can, let me know. Some more stuff with Pookie. Then I read Episcopal Questions, Episcopal Answers, Exploring Christian Faith by Ian Markham.
And C.K. Robinson.
And C.K. Robinson, yes, it's that on here. This was really helpful. I grew up ABA Baptist. My husband and I go to an Episcopal church at the moment. And a lot of the stuff is just really new to me, and I don't completely understand the history of it and everything because I didn't grow up with it. So I was going through a spell where I was reading a bunch of books about that, and this one was probably the most helpful one I've read. So if you're wondering about any of that or anything, I would recommend this. It was very well done, easy to understand, and it helped me understand the bits that I didn't. So this was good. I enjoyed that. Let's see another. Okay. Then I read A Journal of Sin by Sarah Gladstone. No. I read A Journal of Sin by Daryl Donahue, which is book 1 in the Sarah Gladstone series. Now, I've had this on my Kindle since I got my Kindle.
Don't worry, she's taking a nap after this.
Yeah.
Whether she likes it or not.
I shove my face in a couple more graphic novels and eat some lunch. When I got my Kindle, I was excited, and I got a handful of free books just for the sake of, free books. And then I realized I don't like ebooks, so I never really got around.
Sorry for the interruption. Baby issues. Go ahead, sweetie.
Okay. What was the last thing I said?
I don't remember.
Anyway, and this one I started reading. It's about this, it's set in England, and it's about this lady, and she's a cop, but she's basically like, she's just starting out, you know, she's been in for a couple years, so she's got some experience, but she's never dealt with anything big on her own, she's not charged or anything, and she goes to help her mom, who got hurt or something, or sick, I don't remember, and, there's this massive flood. She's basically stuck in this little tiny podunk town, and there's a murder, and she's the only cop in town, so she has to deal with it. So I started reading this when I originally downloaded those books, and I never really finished it, and it was just sitting there, and it was annoying me that it wasn't finished. So since I was kind of on an ebook kick, I decided to read it, and I love this book. It ended up being really, really good. I really enjoy murder mysteries, and it ended up being really, really good. This was one that I actually stayed up reading and realized how much I love the fact that my Kindle doesn't hurt my eyes if I'm up late reading, because I switched it to white text on black, which helps my eyes a lot in general, because screens bother them.
You're welcome for the advice on that, by the way.
I stayed up late reading this, and it was really good. I've got the second book on my Kindle. Unfortunately, these are only in ebook format. And I think the second one was like $3.99, which isn't a bad price for a book. I'm just stingy and spoiled with my 10-cent library book sales. And it's an ebook, and I can't even touch it, and I spent $4 on it. But, rant aside, it was really good. I can't wait to read the second one. I'm kind of like sitting on my ebooks now, even though I've been trying to read them a lot this month, because we're going to be going back down to Arkansas to watch my in-laws' dogs at the end of the month, beginning of next month, so I want to build those up and read those there. So yeah, definitely recommend that if you like murder mysteries. It was really good. Let's see, a bunch more stuff with the princess. We joke that our daughter isn't gonna know what her name is because we call her so many different things.
The Pookie Princess, the frog.
Okay, let's see.
A snot monster.
This is Lady Susan by Jane Austen. I've had this for a little while. I hadn't really heard of this one until I started looking up the names of all. I was looking for a list of the names of all of her books so I could make sure I had all of them because I really like Jane Austen. And this is the shortest one, I think. So I read this recently. obviously. Wow. Duh. You see how like I am? Killer book hangover. Anyway.
You'll be fine. I love you.
I love you. This is written in the epistolary style, which, if you don't know, means it's just letters back and forth, basically.
Is it similar to like how Dracula's written? Because it's all journal entries.
Dracula's not really all journal entries.
I thought it was. Or letters.
No, it's not epistolary. It's definitely a novel. But yeah, it's written in the epistolary style. I like the epistolary style. It's not usually my favorite thing, but it worked really well on this. And I at first I wasn't really invested in it, but by about halfway through the book, I was really into it. And the title character, Lady Susan, I do not like her. I guess I should give you synopses. I'm really bad at synopses. I'm going to read the back of the book. Let's do that. As a recent widow, Lady Susan is keen to secure advantageous marriages for herself and her daughter Frederica, no matter what the cost. But as the number of eligible men in her net starts building up, Lady Susan is in danger of building herself a serious reputation, and scandal seems to be following her around. By turn funny and clever, Lady Susan is a delight, a brilliant insight, and Jane Austen's precocious talent. So, yeah. I really didn't like Lady Susan. By the end of the book, I was wanting her to die because, you know, the period's in, and I wanted her daughter just free of her, and with a time period, that's the best way. Like, she just needs to die. But Jane Austen accomplished getting Frederica away from her without her dying, so that's cool. I really like Frederica? I thought it was Frederica. Is there a typo? Anyway, the daughter. I really liked the daughter. It would have been cool to see like a little epilogue of like more of it is Frederica. There's a typo on the back of my book. More about her and stuff, but there is like a conclusion, which is basically an epilogue, and I really like this. If you like Jane Austen and you want to get into it, but as long as you don't want epistolary style, if you're worried about like, the length of some of her books, I would recommend this one. This one's really good. And I'm going to get this sticker off because it's annoying me. Let's see. Come on. I miss the border stickers. Like, I miss Borders, period. Borders was awesome. Sorry, I'm rambling and everything. Like I said, killer book hangover. Just put up with me or don't. Whatever.
River's getting fussy again. Do you want to continue recording yourself, or do you need me to?
Well, it's set, so, I think I'm getting close to the end.
Alright, let me go check on her, okay?
Okay, you can pause it again?
Yeah. We love our daughter.
Okay, are we going?
Yes, we are.
Hello! Okay, so we have the princess now. Next thing was, since I was enjoying ebooks, I made an account on NetGalley, which is where you can get like e-arcs to read for free. You just have to review them. So I got on there and I started requesting books, and I got a manga version. It's the Manga Classics Les Miserables by Stacey King. I wasn't paying too much attention. I thought this was just a graphic novel, but it is manga. I haven't finished reading the original book, but it was really good. The manga was. I had some technical issues with it, and all of these manga ones are not ones I can send to my Kindle. I had to read on my laptops. That was really annoying. But they, what?
There's hair on my screen. Don't worry about me.
Oh. But, they did the art really well. I enjoyed the has to be shortened version of the story because it's only like 300 pages, and the original book is 1,000 pages in full text, no pictures. So it was really good. I enjoyed it. That one's already out. So if it sounds remotely interesting to read a manga version of Les Mis, I would recommend it. No, don't press buttons on my computer, sweetie. I need this. Okay. Then, I didn't do a video on this or anything, but since she's sitting here, we read Dragons Love Tacos, and she loved it. Next thing I read, though, was Merchant of Venice. which surprisingly, I've seen this, and I've like written papers on it, and I know the story. I've seen it performed, I've seen videos of it, all of that, but I've never actually read it. So I finally read this, and as I knew, the story is really good. I like it. I'm sorry I'm sucking at synopses. Just look it up on Goodreads. Like, I'm sorry, but just look it up. So yeah, really enjoyed that. Glad to finally read it. And then after that, I read Titus Andronicus, which is another one. I've seen Titus, which is an adaptation, which is really good. If you like bloody, gory stuff, watch Titus. It's got like a guy covered in blue paint on the cover of the DVD or Blu-ray.
Anthony Hopkins.
It's the Anthony Hopkins one. That's so good. But Titus Andronicus is like Shakespeare's bloodiest play, and I absolutely love this thing. It's so good, and I was glad I finally got to read it. So recommend that as well. Then I think you'll have seen in my wrap up last month, I started this graphic novel series called Why the Last Man, and there's some kind of plague or something that kills off every mammal with a Y chromosome, basically. So all the males, biological, whatever. I'm not getting into that mess. Except for this one guy and his pet monkey. So they follow... Can I have my laptop? I'm using that. They follow him and trying to figure out, what caused the plague, how they can fix it, find his sister, find his she has a tooth now, sort of fiance who's in Australia, etc., etc. Anyway, so I read book 2. These are the deluxe editions, so I think it's like more than one of like this size of the graphic novels, but whatever, that's what the library had. I read book 2. Still loving it. That's still really good. Then I finally gave in and read Saga Volume 1, and everybody's right. It's amazing. It definitely is for like adults. It has like, grown-up stuff, and there's some like cussing and stuff, and there's plenty of blood and gore, but it's really good. It's about, so there's this planet and its moon, and they've been warring forever, and the wars were so bad that they moved them off-world to other worlds. And she's from the planet, and he's from the moon, and they basically fall in love and run away, and they end up having a kid, and everybody's trying to kill them, basically. And it's really good. So yeah, I read volume 1 of that. Let's see. Let's find an appropriate picture. Here's some of the art. I like the main characters, but him right there, that's Lion Cat. I think Lion Cat's one of my favorite characters. I would love like a little graphic novel novella all about like Lion Cat's backstory. It's one of my favorites. I love him. Okay.
Is it just because he's a cat?
No, it's because he's Lion Cat. He's cool. And then I read Paper Girls Volume 1, which Alex has actually read these, and I'll have him put his opinion in a second. But this is about these paper girls, and they're the first girls that really deliver newspapers, and it's like 1988. And it's supposed to be kind of like Stranger Things, which is why I recommend Alex read it. And by the way, I did not do this on purpose, but I realized when I had my stack of books to talk about, that all of the graphic novels, like Why the Last Man, Saga, and Paper Girls, they're all written by Brian K. Vaughan. So apparently I really like the stories. Anyway, and then there's these future people, and they end up going through time, and it is more different than Stranger Things than I expected. But if you like Stranger Things, you will like this, and it's really good. It gets a little weird, but it's really good. So I read volume 1 of this. Here's some of the art.
She says it gets a little weird. She's vastly understating. It gets progressively stranger and more complicated as the volumes roll on. It's from Image Comics, who also produced Spawn, and
these are both Image Comics.
They also produced Spawn and one iteration of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I believe.
But you like these stories, right?
Yeah, I got kind of burnt out on them. So.
Okay, then after that, I read Saga Volume 2, which, I told you basically what the story's about, and it just continues on with that. I still seriously, Lion Cat. I love Lion Cat. And I didn't realize how much I loved Lion Cat until I thought he died. And I was so sad. I was ready to DNF the book, and I don't DNF stuff. So, yeah, this is Volume 2. So I read that. Again, I'm loving them. Some stuff with Pookie. Seriously, that's next. I think this might be slightly out of order. So I'm going to go with the order I have in my stack. And then I read Why the Last Man, Volume 3. You can see these are a little bit bigger. Like I said, these are the deluxe editions. And these are Vertigo Comics. And yes, sweetie, I love you. Here's some of the art for these. Again, just continuing the story. Still loving this. It is a little bit it's been a couple of years, 3 years or something since the plague hit. And that is one thing I have with these books. It doesn't seem like that much time is passing. And all of a sudden they'll say, yeah, it took me 2 years just to get across the country. I'm like, wait a minute. 2 years happened? How did I miss this? How did 2 years happen? But other than that, still loving it. Still really good. Then Paper Girls Volume 2. Same thing. It gets weirder. But Alex says it gets progressively more weird. And it doesn't seem like that to me. It just seems like more and more of the story is unfolding.
It's really good.
I really enjoy it. Is this one? No, that's 3 that I just read. Okay. So I read that. And then Saga Volume 3. Maybe this was the one where Lion Cat almost died. One of them. I don't know. There's this race of androids, and they're not made androids. They can reproduce and everything, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, read that, and then I read not that. I just read that. Okay, so we discussed the Roses of May at the beginning of this video, and I told you how much I love Butterfly Garden and everything. I found on NetGalley last night, I was poking around, they have the Summer Children on NetGalley, which I was so thrilled about, and I went to request it, and it's not even a request one, it's one you can just instantly read, and I was so thrilled because I've got this thing on pre-order, and I don't really pre-order books that often, so I was so thrilled to read it. I stayed up so late reading last night that I literally could not physically read anymore because my eyes were going this way and the words were blurring on, not blurring, but they were going on top of each other, and I literally couldn't read. Finally passed out so hard. Alex had to take care of this one. I didn't even hear you cry. Yeah.
Until I finally made her get up this morning and deal with her because I was exhausted.
And then once she was taken care of, I proceeded to finish this. And it's amazing. I'm really sad that the series is just a trilogy. Hi, Princess. Because I would love more books in it. But it's wrapped up so well. I did a more thorough review on Goodreads because I had to review it for NetGalley. And I copied that review on Goodreads. They did a very good job wrapping it up. I love how the characters from the first 2 books, Inara, Bliss, and Priya, they all get carried over. It's wonderful. I'm sad that it's the last one, but they did an amazing job finishing it off. And if you haven't read the series, read the series. The Summer Children comes out in May 22nd. So these books are awesome. Read the first two, pre-order the third one. They're great. That's what caused the book hangover. They're just so good. And then I went to the library today and I got the next Saga and the next Y, The Last Man. I'll read those here in a little bit. But the last book I'm going to talk about right now is Paper Girls Volume 3. This one, again, really good. There was one part where they're like in prehistoric times, and I think it's KJ. I get the girls mixed up, but one of them, she gets her period for the first time. And the fact that that's even mentioned is kind of cool. That's one of those things in books you just gloss over and nobody mentions. And then she touches this thing that sees her future, and she ends up kissing Mac, one of the other girls. And I guess she didn't even realize that she was interested in Mac or that she might like girls or whatever. So her figuring that out is really cool to see, and it's done pretty well, I think. And then, of course, I had to show Alex this last page in the book because he's really into Gundam, and it kind of reminds me of a Gundam. But yeah, that's everything I've read so far in April. I know it's been a lot. There's probably going to be a lot more, but I really need to return these pile of books to the library. And like I said, I already had to return some of them. So I've been yapping for a while. I'm going to quit talking and go read my other graphic novels. I will see you guys next time. Let me know if you got this far. Do you like twice a month wrap-ups, once a month wrap-ups, weekly wrap-ups? Does anybody even care? Is anybody even watching my videos? No, I know at least a couple people watching. But yeah. I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe. And there's a cute little princess who's not looking at the camera. Cookie, can you look at the camera? No? You're too busy looking at Mommy's laptop? Okay. I love you. See you guys next time. Bye.